The movie starts by showing two French soldiers who are using their guns to scare a lady. They want her to tell them where her husband, who's a terrorist, is hiding. Clara, a female soldier who can speak both languages, steps in to help. She tries to make the lady understand that they need to find her husband because of their orders. But Clara notices the lady is really scared because the colonel is holding a gun close to her. So Clara asks the colonel if she can talk to the lady alone. The colonel agrees, giving them 5 minutes. Once they're alone, Clara assures the lady that they don't want to hurt her husband, just catch him. She promises that her son won't be harmed either because he's innocent and shouldn't be blamed for his father's actions. Hearing this, the lady finally tells Clara where her husband is hiding. As soon as she gets the information, Clara goes and tells the colonel. When they had the information, the colonel gave the order for Clara and the other soldiers to launch a raid. They successfully caught the person they were after, who was hiding with his son. But when Clara tried to get the man to reveal where his hideout was, suddenly they were attacked by terrorists shooting from a nearby ruined building. Clara quickly found cover and saw a soldier shielding the boy with his own body. In an intense gunfight, they eventually managed to defeat the group of terrorists. They then got the man and his son out of there. As they reached the outside, the man encouraged his son to do something that would make him proud. But at that moment, a soldier noticed a bomb under the boy's clothes. Before they could react, the boy triggered the bomb. The explosion was powerful and covered a wide area, even reaching Clara, who was standing fairly close to where it happened. Next, the story gives a quick overview of Operation Sentinel, which took place in January 2015. This was a French military operation aimed at protecting civilians from terrorist threats. The soldiers involved not only guarded the people, but also used their knowledge to try and predict and prevent terrorist attacks. They adapted their strategies based on the information they gathered. These troops also patrolled places that were likely to have conflicts. Around 10,000 of these soldiers were on patrol daily in such areas. After a while, Clara makes a decision. She tells her younger sister Tanya that she's not going back to the battlefield. Clara explains that she'll be part of Operation Sentinel, focused on counter-terrorism efforts. Clara isn't very thrilled about this new assignment, but Tanya points out that at least Clara will be close to their family. Tanya is relieved that Clara won't be risking her life on the front lines anymore. When Clara got home, her mother Maria was overjoyed to see her after such a long time away. However, Maria quickly noticed that something was bothering Clara. Clara seemed frustrated, so Maria let her rest her head on her lap and lovingly stroked her hair. Maria's affection didn't stop there. She hugged and kissed Clara, clearly showing how much she had missed her eldest daughter. The next day, Clara went to see a doctor about her health. She had been getting migraines frequently ever since her time in Syria on military missions. The doctor gave Clara strong medicines like opioids, tranquilizers, and beta blockers to help her, but also warned her about the possibility of these drugs being addictive. The doctor recommended that Clara talk to a psychiatrist about it. After getting treated, Clara started her first day in counter-terrorism operations by patrolling the port. During her patrol, Clara noticed an abandoned backpack. This brought back memories of a tragic incident from her time in the Middle East conflict zone. Fortunately, the backpack's owner returned shortly after, so there was no issue. Later, Clara and her team were alerted about a distressing situation. A woman was being physically abused by her intoxicated boyfriend. Instead of just detaining the boyfriend, Clara's anger got the better of her. She ended up physically confronting the man, even attempting to push him into the sea. Other soldiers intervened quickly, restraining the man. Back home, Clara was deeply frustrated by what happened during the day. The incident weighed heavily on her, making it hard for her to sleep and causing her to tremble. The trauma she experienced in Syria haunted her, leading to panic attacks while on patrol. These attacks gave her headaches and tremors, prompting her to rely on sedatives. Instead of seeking help from a psychiatrist for her mental well-being, Clara chose to purchase tranquilizers through illegal means. During weekends, Tanya took Clara to nightclubs as a way to have fun and relieve stress. On the dance floor, Tanya's friend approached her and invited her to join a group of Russian men upstairs. Tanya agreed and urged Clara to enjoy herself before leaving with her friend. Although Tanya reassured Clara, Clara kept an eye on her as she engaged in a lively conversation with the Russian men. Clara's attention shifted when a woman approached and invited her to dance provocatively. Clara got caught up in the moment and became engrossed, momentarily diverting her focus from Tanya. Unbeknownst to Clara, Tanya noticed her enjoying an intimate dance with the woman. Tanya signaled to them that she would accompany the Russian men and promised to call Clara later. Completely unsuspecting, Clara spent the night in a more intimate manner with the woman in her apartment. The next day, Clara messaged Tanya to check on her, but Tanya didn't respond. While on patrol, Clara spotted a suspicious man and immediately gave chase. To her surprise, the man turned out to be the one who had sold her the illegal sedatives. Clara decided to let him go. Shortly afterward, Clara received a phone call delivering devastating news. Tanya was in a coma and being treated intensively at the hospital. Rushing to the hospital, a doctor explained to Clara that Tanya was comatose due to brain swelling. Simultaneously, a police detective named Muller approached Clara. Muller disclosed that Tanya had been discovered unconscious on the beach by a passerby. In a gruesome turn, Muller informed Clara that Tanya had been sexually assaulted and brutally attacked, leading to her coma. Clara then recounted to Muller that she and Tanya had been at a nightclub the previous night. Tanya had gone off with a group of unfamiliar Russian men, assuring Clara she would call her later. A while after, Maria arrived at the hospital, her face filled with shock and devastation as she learned about her daughter's horrifying ordeal of rape and assault. The following day, Clara took matters into her own hands and launched her own investigation. She went to the nightclub and requested access to the CCTV camera footage. Speaking with the club owner, Clara inquired about the Russian man who had been with Tanya. The owner informed Clara that the man was a regular patron. Clara showed the man's photo to Muller, the detective. Muller revealed that the man was Ivan, the son of Leonid Kandikov, a powerful and well-connected Russian magnate. In the aftermath of the incident, Ivan was hiding in his father's villa. The complication arose from the fact that both Ivan and his father held diplomatic passports and immunity. This made them practically untouchable without undergoing a convoluted legal process. Muller explained that the police had difficulty approaching Leonid and his family due to a kind of legal protection that seemed to come from influential figures within the government. Muller asked Clara for patience and assured her that he would inform her promptly if any leads or evidence came up. However, Clara couldn't bear waiting during the police investigation. She decided to carry on with her own search for answers. Clara managed to locate Leonid's villa where Ivan was hiding. She even saw Ivan casually taking selfies, devoid of any remorse. Clara later visited Tanya in the hospital, where she prayed for her sister's recovery alongside their mother. The next day, driven by her emotions, Clara secretly infiltrated Leonid's villa with the intention of confronting Ivan. However, just in time, her partner arrived to intervene. He stopped Clara and persuaded her to surrender her weapon. As a consequence of her actions, Clara faced a stern rebuke from her superior, who also cautioned her against the use of tranquilizers. In the evening, Clara visits the nightclub and spots Ivan enjoying himself with friends. She shadows Ivan as he heads to the restroom and then confronts him, brandishing a knife at his face. Clara demands answers about the incident that left Tanya in a coma. Ivan denies any involvement, claiming he isn't responsible. Suddenly, Ivan's bodyguards enter and attack Clara. Ivan seizes the opportunity to escape. Clara engages in a fierce battle against the bodyguards, eventually emerging victorious. However, the nightclub's security personnel intervene and forcefully eject Clara from the premises, banning her from returning. The following day, Clara, driven by desperation, steals a weapon from her garrison's armory. She infiltrates Leonid's villa in a bid to uncover the truth behind her sister's suffering. Unbeknownst to her, one of the guards is present and quickly subdues Clara, catching her in the act. Clara was brought before Leonid, who shockingly confessed to Clara that he was the one who had assaulted and violated Tanya. He revealed that Ivan had no interest in women at all. As Clara was about to leave, Leonid commanded his men to drown her in a bathtub, but Clara fiercely fought back, defeating them and managed to escape by jumping into a nearby pool. Shortly after Tanya woke up from her coma, she expressed her desire to move on and forget the incident, recognizing that blame might fall on her for what happened. Tanya chose not to press charges against Leonid, wishing to avoid the long-lasting burden of exposure on their family. Nevertheless, Clara was determined to take legal action. She believed that Leonid was a criminal who would continue to harm other women if not stopped. Outside her sister's hospital room, Clara watches a news report where Leonid announces his impending return to Russia. Suddenly, Clara witnesses a nurse rushing past her, and moments later, Tanya suffers a sudden embolism. Suspecting foul play, Clara chases and apprehends the nurse, who turns out to be an imposter. The fake nurse attacks Clara, prompting a fierce brawl. Despite the struggle, Clara manages to overpower and incapacitate her. After the fight, Clara hurries back to her apartment to gather her passport and prepare to escape. She senses the imminent arrival of the police, who are likely coming to arrest her for the assault. Just as she's about to enter the elevator, Clara realizes that Muller and her partner have reached her apartment. She quickly changes course and escapes through the emergency stairs. Clara then acquires a car and takes weapons from her garrison's armory. However, before she can carry out her revenge plan, Clara receives a call from her mother. Her mother pleads with her to abandon her quest for vengeance and return home. Despite Muller's efforts, Clara remains steadfast in her determination to carry out her revenge. Muller reveals that the imposter nurse was actually a hitman sent by Leonid to kill Tanya. This testimony could be crucial evidence for prosecuting Leonid. Clara, however, remains skeptical, believing that Leonid's wealth and influence could easily lead to his acquittal. Clara decides to take matters into her own hands. She infiltrates Leonid's hideout, eliminating his bodyguards along the way. She eventually tracks down Leonid, and despite his attempts to offer her money for peace, Clara's anger prevails. She shoves him downstairs, preparing to shoot him. Suddenly, Ivan intervenes, attacking Clara and stabbing her. In a reflexive move, Clara shoots Ivan to incapacitate him. Yet in the following moments, she ends up fatally shooting Ivan. Badly wounded, Clara retreats as a tactical police unit arrives at the scene. Astonishingly, Leonid survives the fall and regains consciousness. 3 months pass, and Leonid is staying in his hotel suite in Dubai, ordering room service from the hostesses. Clara disguises herself as one of the hostesses and arrives with a fruit basket. In a swift and intense move, she seizes a fork and uses it to repeatedly stab Leonid in the jugular and around his neck. Following the attack, Clara returns to Nice in secret to check up on Tanya from a distance. Tanya is seen spending time with friends, having visibly recovered from her traumatic experience. After silently observing Tanya's well-being without being noticed, Clara walks away, now living as a fugitive from the law. The moral of the story is do not bring a fork to a fruit basket fight.